BTB Podcast has officially joined forces with SWSC, and things are about to get a whole lot more entertaining. SWSC is turning up the volume on the entertainment and launching a brand new YouTube channel called Sorta Local. It's all about fresh local content, live streams, new shows, and the kind of fun, off the cuff moments you don't want to miss. And yes, the BTB Podcast is coming along for the ride. You'll still get the same BTB show you love, but now on a bigger stage. Expect live streams from Wolves games, on-location recordings, guest appearances, and plenty of surprises. This is just the start. More details are coming soon as Sorta Local launches a new wave of shows and events celebrating the best of Sudbury and beyond. Subscribe to Sorta Local on YouTube and be a part of something new, local, and seriously entertaining.
Silver Cross Sudbury. Are you or a loved one looking for mobility and accessibility solutions in Sudbury? Look no further than Silver Cross Sudbury. Silver Cross Sudbury is your trusted source for a wide range of mobility aids and home accessibility products. They're dedicated to improving your independence and quality of life. Visit their showroom at 760 Notre Dame Avenue, that is 760 Notre Dame Avenue, or call them at 705-222-0700. Your independence is their priority. We thank Silver Cross Sudbury so much, more importantly, Dean and Chantal Jacqueline, who are the owners of Silver Cross, for making a difference in our lives and our listeners since day one, supporting our podcast.
From the cold of the north, where the stories begin, behind the bench, let the breakdowns roll in. Sports on the table, hot takes on the line, unbeatable banter every single time. Settle in now, let the good times last. You're listening to the Northern Ontario Podcast behind the bench. Behind the bench. Behind the bench. Behind the bench.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to week 248 of Behind the Bench. What's going on, everybody? You got myself and Tommy here, mano y mano this week. Lots going on. Lots going on for the boys. As you can tell, we had the golf marathon last week. It's been a busy time for us, and had to take the option on last week, but we're here. We're back. We have a great interview on top. A lot going on. A lot to talk about. Tommy Vlahos, I'll send it off to you first. What is going on?
Not much, man. Honestly, it's a lot of golf, tons of golf. I mean, really, the summer so far for me has just been golf. I mean, any given day I'm playing or practicing. So it's good always to come on the show and chat it up. I know the teachers of the show are pretty busy wrapping school up. So congratulations to you. And I know Mason will be editing the show. To you guys, I'm very happy for you guys. One more night, one more day. So that's really all I got, man. I mean, I had the best round of my life this week. I did career it. I did have the lowest number I've ever put on a scorecard, which was 73. And when you have all this stuff in one round, it sure feels good. But any given day, you can wake up the next day and lose it all. That's just golf. But yeah, man, everything's really good so far in terms of the golf game in summer. I'm really looking forward to this coming weekend. We have a lovely concert at maybe one of the last ones at the Sudbury Arena in Florida, potentially. So I'm looking forward to spending some time with you and the crew we got
Give
going
me
there.
the green light. Give me the green light.
Exactly. So that's it, man. That's all I got. I know you have some stuff going on, and I know school's near the end. One more day, so basically done. I'm sure you can see the finish line or
Yeah,
the green light.
Yeah, we are recording on the eve of the last day of school. It is crazy how fast the year has gone by. It always feels like that. At the end, like, you just cannot believe everything that's happened, all gone, all done like that. So it was a fun school year, a few great classes, obviously some success in athletics as well at St. Ben's. So it was a ton of fun, and we're going to celebrate with a little golf social / tournament this weekend. So very excited for that. And stay tuned in the fall, folks, for a little porchetta bingo that will be running from our school as well. So very excited to get that all planned out. The social is going to be a good time. Get some alumni out. Really want to grow the alumni program at St. Ben's. So that'll be my big project over my time there. But overall, doing great. Tom, career round from the tips. You know, I retire from the tips, and then you go and career from the tips. 73. Another Mr. 73 joins the club. So congrats. It's way more impressive than what I did. So great to hear, great to see. And I mean, 73, 76 should do it to get you in to Ryder. I know it's gonna be tight. There's a lot of good players, but I think you've done all that you could. And I'm really pulling for it. I have a really good feeling about it. It'd be really cool to see you in the Ryder Cup representing Team ID. And I have a good feeling. I do have a good feeling. 73, 76, that's some legit scores. Like,
Thanks, buddy.
there are your locks out there. Of course, you know, Dave Bauer will be one as the pro. He's going to play. There are some big names. Evan McLean's one of them. Jason Pico, Vinny Palladino, all these names here. So it will not be easy, but I think, I mean, how can you deny the scores of 73, 76? Like, that is some legit golf. So we'll see what happens. Very intrigued. When do you find out about that?
The last day to get your rounds in is June 30th. So I'd assume
So you find right after that. Yeah.
like
Canada
early
Day
next
around
week, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, because then you play the Friday. So I hope it's soon so I can get the team Mo going, get the group chat going, and figure out a way to get a championship back on the Eddie's hands here. So
Yeah,
it's been a
hopefully.
couple years, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't even I don't know what my reaction would be if I was to find out I didn't make it, right? Like, I did everything I could. I was so close, but I would say I would be probably pretty frustrated in terms of you never know what can happen next year. You could not have those 2 rounds and you're not even close, right? That's just golf. So I did the best I could, and we'll leave it at that. And it's in their hands now. So
Yeah. Backing up a week or so ago, Tom, we had the golf marathon. We as a team
I guess we
played.
haven't even talked about that.
We as a team put 102 holes in. Tom, you took the brunt of it, playing 60. What was it, 64?
Yeah,
something
like that.
64 holes, and then Mace and I cleaned it up for us in the afternoon shift, playing with JP and Nick Stanecki. And a pretty magical thing happened. A hole-in-one for your boy on the 8th hole of Monte Vista. I will tell you, if I was a betting man, I would have never bet on it happening there at Monte Vista during the golf marathon, but pretty special that it happened there. There is a lot of debate, Tom, and I'm open to it, and I do understand as well the act of the ball going in the hole in one can't be denied. That happened. The ball went in the hole. The celebration was awesome. JP, we couldn't believe it. But there is some stipulations. Obviously, it's the golf marathon. So we're playing holes multiple times. I think that was our second or third time playing that hole. So it's up for debate. I think at the end of the day, I'm going to count it. I'm happy with it. I think it's a hole-in-one. But I do understand where people could say that it may not count or that there's an asterisk beside it. So I don't know. So I'd like to get your take.
Yeah,
and be honest, because
no, I will be.
I
will be. Okay, so I've been talking to a lot of people about it too. Some of your close friends and some friends of the show. And to me, a guy that's an ID legend that's won the Invitational many times, I think 5+ times, if I'm not mistaken. We've interviewed him. I don't even remember how many times he's won. Ran into him in the locker room and he was asking about it. He's like, how's Chim doing? Like, he's all ecstatic, hole-in-one. And it was Vince Palladino I was talking to. Okay, I'll name drop him. And I brought this debate up, and he's no hesitation said it counts, like no matter what. So here's the reason why.
If
Like,
I get that stamp of approval, then I'm
yeah,
out.
here's where I stand. Okay, so I'm hearing all the debate as in like, oh, like you played the same hole, the same flag, like 9 times. Okay, like in that same time frame, but you can play the same par 3, like let's call it 50 times in a summer. I know the flags switch, any given day, and you won't get an A. So, like, what does it matter that day because you played it 8 times and you had the same club? Like, more often than not, you're going to every par 3 at the ID from the Blues or the Blacks, or the Reds, wherever you play, and you're going to likely hit the same club, give or take, right? A little bit of wind might drop you down one, and vice versa. So I don't really get that debate of like he played the same hole that many times in that day, so he already knew what club to hit and the flag. And it's like you could have stayed there probably for 100 shots with a bucket of balls and not have gotten A's. Like
It's so funny because as soon as I made it, like obviously you're celebrating, but I knew,
but you knew right away.
I knew the
you
debate
knew right away. I know
was
you
going to
did.
come.
Yeah, for sure. But
people are giving it to me that I was using a pinnacle ball too, which I kind of love.
yeah,
think
but
it's
I mean
hilarious.
it's the marathon. So like I see both sides too. I do, and I'm not just like I'm trying to go it's an ace because I see the other side, but I'm leaning more towards that it counts. Solely because the physical ball from the tee went in the hole as in one shot. Like no matter how you did it, no matter how many times you played the hole, no matter what the circumstances is, marathon or not,
The ball went in the hole in one.
that's a hole in one. Like think of the title of a hole in one. Hole in one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's yeah, you don't have a card to put it on. Like you don't have the one in the circle, the double circle on there. Because we don't really keep track at the marathon, but it definitely counts. And that video popped off. Like it really popped off.
Well, and this might be a bad comparison, but like if you're playing in a match play, or let's say you're playing in like an alternate shot or a scramble, match play, and you hit and you're not playing all the holes, but you get a hole in one, like that counts. Or if it's a scramble, you get a hole in one, that counts. Like, and that's why, you know what, I kind of love getting a hole in one in the golf marathon because how unique it is. How unique this event is. There is no event like the golf marathon, playing over 100 holes in a day. So I couldn't be more happier that I got it done there because, one, it was the first time there was a hole in one in the golf marathon. I asked JP, he confirmed it. I asked him earlier that day, as soon as I got into the cart, I think we played the first couple holes, I said, has anyone gotten a hole in one in the golf marathon? He said no. And then, sure enough, an hour or so later, it happened. So I'm going to count it. I'm happy with it. It made for great content. And it was so cool to have JP and Nick, who run this whole thing, that put a lot of time in. It was so cool to do it with them there. Like the ultimate vibes guys. They put in their time. They played 102 holes on their own. They helped raise over $50,000 for children's charities once again in Sudbury. This event has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So to do it there with them, I don't think I could be happier.
No,
with it. I'm taking it all the way.
Yeah, I had a day with them too because I played the whole first 63, 64 holes with them. Dr. Nick, JP.
At the end of the day, it's bigger than golf. The event is bigger than the golf.
Well, yeah. Where was I going with this?
Dr. Nick.
I mean, just two guys that love the pod. I mean, it's so cool to be a part of that event.
Long-time listeners. JP is our OG listener. Let us do it. Co-founder. He's an honorary member, co-founder of BTB.
My
easy.
brother says this on the range the other day because we see JP post work coming down the hill there at the ID, getting
Yeah.
ready for his tea time in his dress clothes, and he looks at me and goes, "What would the university do without JP? Like, right, for how much he's done?" And then I look at my brother and I said, "What would I do without that guy? Like, where would this
Where would
phone
we
call
be?
be right now, right?" And he loves not taking credit, but at the end of the day,
He's
it was
way
him.
too humble for it. He's
Yeah.
way too humble for it. Like, everything we do is because, he gave us this shot. And I'll always go back and reiterate that as my camera's bugging out here. So
That's
bear
okay.
with me.
That's okay. So we're counting the ace. We're counting the ace.
We're
I'm
counting
with
the
you.
ace. As I fix the camera here, Tom, we're going to go into our Tristan Ritchie at Lake City Performers of the Week, and I will send it off to you.
Okay, thank you. So, ran into this guy this week at the course, and he's not a member at the Adwell, but he was there with all his buddies. It was basically probably his celebration tour, and I know we've had him on during those runs when St. Charles hockey were winning, obviously, cities and stuff, and just because it's the last week of school, I know there's one day left. I'm giving my performer to Rob Zanata, obviously retiring. They had the Ziggy Crawl, is what they called it last week, and it was all kind of his famous local sports bars that they went to. I believe they ended it off at the Beef, but someone that's been a huge influence in my life when I was in high school for how involved he was in sports, and everyone kind of knows him in terms of like if you did go to St. Charles, but even if you didn't, like yourself, Alex, like I think he's such a staple in high school sports in general, and I wish him nothing but the best in retirement. And when I ran into him a couple days ago at the golf course, it was just super cool, and I went and gave him a big hug, and he really appreciated that. So I know it's kind of been probably the last 2 years that he was debating on retiring or what he was going to do, and now it is official. And I'm not just saying this on behalf of me. I know he's had a huge impact on a lot of people that are now graduated and older and all that stuff. So we love you, Ziggy, and hopefully we get you back on the show eventually and maybe get you out for a round. But congrats on retirement.
Well said there, Tom. Z is a legend. And it looks like they celebrated in the right way. We know he's going to be being a starter at Lively golfing. He's going to enjoy retirement. I can't see him stepping away from cards hockey yet, though. I don't know. I feel like he'll be around it. Maybe he's not on the bench, but he'll be around it, I think.
We'll see.
Okay. It sounds like you may have some insider info. So
I think he's actually done, dude. I think he's done. Like I think he's passing the torch to Lenny, man. Like
it's the right time, and if it is, hell of a career, obviously teaching, but what he's done with SEC hockey, wicked. Okay, I'm gonna move it on to my performers of the week. I got a couple. One's gonna go to Roberto Bagnato, who hasn't been on this show in a bit, but Roberto Bagnato and his fiance Vanessa. I don't think you can find two better hosts in the world. My dad and I, and my performer will also go to my dad. It was Father's Day last week. He got us tickets to the World Cup. What an event. What a time. It's kind of late now, but highly recommend going to a World Cup game if you can ever do it in your life. To see it in Toronto was unbelievable. To do it with my dad was really cool. A little bittersweet because obviously Italy wasn't in it, but we got to watch a great game. The atmosphere was insane. And especially as a SPAD guy that's like, I'm kind of like a nut for, facilities and how event planning and how things are run. FIFA does a phenomenal job. Like I was just thinking about how big of a disaster downtown Toronto would be. Honestly, was not bad at all. Getting tuned from the game was quite smooth. So, and all we were in the temporary stands. What a view of the field. It was great. FIFA did a great job. I'll get back to Roberto and Vanessa in a second, but yeah, being with my dad was a lot of fun. And it's funny because almost 20 years, I'm dating myself now. Almost 20 years to the date, 19 years ago, my dad and I were at the same field watching the Under-20 World Cup final and consolation game. So kind of a full circle moment. The U20, some of those guys are retired now from that U20 World Cup at BMO Field. To doing the World Cup with my dad, it was awesome. So obviously wanted to thank him for doing that, getting the tickets and going. It was great. And shout out to Roberto Bagnato and Vanessa. Everyone knows the cost of going to the World Cup. I was, prepared to, you're looking at $900 for 2 nights in Toronto, no matter where you stay, minimum. That, like, we're talking Vaughan. And Roberto goes, "What are you talking about, man? Come to the condo. I got a guest suite for a fraction of that price." So, and that's what we did. And if Roberto didn't, and I stayed in his condo, and my dad got to take the guest suite. So without Roberto, it's a big financial burden, and I wanted to thank him for being a great person, and Vanessa as well for just being great people, great hosts, and taking myself in and helping out in fulfilling the dream of going to watch a World Cup. So overall, a big thanks to all of them. Tom, obviously you stayed with Vanessa and Roberto, just two of the best to ever do it.
Yes, and just loving people, man. Like, they have the snacks, they have the food, they have everything you need. Then you never really worry about really anything when you are traveling. And I've stayed a few times at their place too. And I guess Suite is clutch because I think it's a couple doors down from where they are. But I wanted to ask you about the game because I'm watching Germany right now. Tied 1-1 with Ecuador. I know it's Thursday afternoon, but they had a sweet comeback. And I know the German country and the fans were pretty diehard. So I wanted you to elaborate on the game.
The fans were insane. Like, Tom, anytime the play got close to the net, you're standing up and watching. Like, you're pretty active watching the game. Like, you're dialed in. The chants were sick. Even the Cote d'Ivoire fans, who were small in numbers but mighty in their cheering. Like, it was everything you asked for in the game. Cote d'Ivoire goes up. They're the underdog. They hang on for almost the entire game. Germany scored too late. The winner in extra time. Like, you couldn't have written it better. Manuel Neuer in what could probably be his last World Cup at 40 or 41 years old, I think he is.
He's sick, man.
People going bananas. The ultras right across from us going bananas. The crowd was awesome. And the vibe there, like, everyone's just excited to watch a good game. Like, the passion. There is nothing like a soccer game or a football game. The game goes by a ton faster when you're there too, just because I think you're just dialed in, watching every play, watching it live, and just like, man, it's hard to describe how cool it is. And I couldn't imagine being, a Croatian, especially from Sudbury, going to watch a game. Ton of Croatians were there, Tom.
Yeah.
I know the Belgios were there, Bubelos, some big Croatian names there. Went to go from Sudbury, obviously went to go watch. Like, speaking with Dario, I just been texting with him. I can only imagine how that feels. Like, that is childhood. And Luka Modric, they've literally grown up watching
that guy's
Luka
sick.
Modric play. It was his 200th game for Croatia in Toronto. And the best part is, like, I don't think the Croatian guys, obviously on the team, understand the Canadian fan base. And they got a taste of it. My God, it was a sea of checkered red and white.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine. And even for the Germans, I was just feeling that out. And Tom, there were a ton of people like my dad and I that maybe didn't have a dog in the fight, but were there to experience it.
Right.
You look off to the right, you see the CN Tower, and just the vibe. It was sick. Like, it was unlike any event or game I've gone to in my life. I've been to a few good ones, but nothing compared to that. That was unbelievable. And it makes you want to go again. Like, I want to,
for sure.
You get the World Cup fever. I want to go to Vancouver to watch Canada and Swiss.
Canada and Swiss.
When they played.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like after the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
I was thinking,
Yeah,
man, let's go to Vancouver, watch that third game.
Okay, as I watch, and buddy, like I have a huge appreciation for the sport now because there's obviously games at night, and you know me, I like to stay up late and tune in, and I just think it's so special that when we do get it every 4 years, that it's like it makes you get the itch again. Like I'm not a huge fan, but I love sports, so when I am tuning
Everyone's
in, man,
watching.
everybody's watching, and I'm going back and forth when you're ranting because I got the game on here in the background. What kind of pisses me off though, and I'm just talking as an average fan, and I'd like to pick your brain about it, is I find the VAR rule in terms of how long it takes kind of ruins the flow of the game.
For
Am
sure.
am I wrong with
There's
that?
been a big, no. There's like,
There should
I
be
think
there's like what happened to the human element of like the ref, you know?
yeah, I think a lot of soccer purists would agree with you, Tom, that it's kind of taken away from that, or it takes too long, and it's even gotten better from last World Cup. Last World Cup, there was like 15 minutes of added time because the ref would have to go themselves most of the time to review on VAR. Now they got like 3 or 4 people in the VAR room making calls. But yeah, it's a little ridiculous. Like there is a human element. It's a big debate across all sports. Is like even in hockey, a fraction of a skate blade is offside. Like, you know what I mean? It changes a lot. So
Yeah.
it's definitely interesting. It's an interesting debate. I don't mind it, but
Because you do end up making the right call, because why I say that is there was a tackle inside the box here for Germany and they got awarded the free kick. And as I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, that looked pretty bad. But then the replay, the VAR shows it actually wasn't even anything. Like, but at the moment, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see a penalty kick here. And then they returned the call. So that's it. Like they made the right call with it and it was quick, but it's the ones that take like 10, 15 minutes that drive me nuts.
It helps with that for sure, because I mean soccer's notorious for guys trying to draw fouls and diving a bit. So if there's any sport that kind of needs it the most, like even goal line technology has been massive in soccer, because I believe there was one World Cup where a goal went off the bar and in, and it was in by like 5 feet, but no refs were at the right angle to make the call, and the game went on, and it ended up costing the team, I think it was either to advance or whatever it was, a couple spots. So, but yeah, no, the World Cup overall, I mean, that was awesome to go to and to experience it, and I recommend anyone in their life to try and go to one game. I can't wait to see the impact this has on soccer in North America. Everyone's got World Cup fever, like you mentioned, Tom. People who hate soccer are watching it and rooting for Canada. Canada kind of botched it the other night, Tom, against the Swiss. However, if you asked anybody at the start of the tournament, would you shake on a deal for Canada to make it to the round of 32 in the second spot? You would take it every day of the week. So Canada advances with not a full healthy lineup. So that's good. And they got a little bit of help. Obviously, South Africa getting it done against South Korea, who I think the Korean side was better. It will not be easy in this knockout stage. I put it that, like, Canada's going to have a hard time. I think it's more doable than Korea. Canada's got to be able to finish. Canada's got to be able to defend. Like, they got a little exposed by the Swiss. The first goal was horrendous defending, and the second goal Krapel's got to have. So I think Canada's just making their own mistakes, and they got to be able to finish, man. Like, it's the name of the game. You have to finish on your chances. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be a tight one.
They're heavy favorites against South Africa, man. Like,
I don't like that at all. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't like that they're heavy favorites.
Really, you like them when they're better underdogs? I don't know.
I think they have to come in thinking that it's less pressure. It's less pressure, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. But come on, these guys are pros, right? They'll figure it out.
No, I agree.
Because this one's in Vancouver. This one's not in Vancouver. This one, LA. That's right.
Will
so it's done now.
Alfonso Davies play?
He's got to now. No?
Well, If there's any
What's
time,
up with this that he's available? He's available. Then get him in. Like,
so he was a decoy. Jesse Marsh admitted to it. He was never going to play in that Swiss game. They used him as a decoy. I guess it kind of worked in the way that Swiss was playing. Well, it didn't work in the end because they lost. He came out and said that Alfonso's going to get in against South Africa. Will it happen? I'm not sure. You'd have to imagine he's going to. But if he's saying, he said he was going to get in against the Swiss, so I don't know. I don't know. This injury is obviously a lot more serious. You can just tell by the body language of Alphonso Davies too. He doesn't hide it well. Like, you can tell by the way he is on the bench and warm-ups that he is not playing. So let's see how he looks in warm-up for on Sunday, and we'll go from there.
That's a huge addition, though, Al. That's a huge plus.
Yeah, and I don't think they even have to play him in the back where it's that maybe strenuous on him. They can maybe play him more in an attacking role on the wings. Like, their back line's been solid for the most part.
For the most part.
Davies not going to be able to give you 90. I don't know if Davies will be able to give you 45. Like, are you looking for 30? Are you looking for 20 out of him? Like, these re-aggravating hamstring injuries, like, it's not easy to come back from. So we'll see. I don't know if you even start Kyle Larin. Like, he earned it obviously after the Bosnia game, but I think he may be more of a super sub when he comes on fresh and the rest of the guys there are a little more fatigued. I also like Promise David a lot. He's been wild. Like, he's played well. He's huge, so I like his size. Steven Eustachio has to play 90 minutes too. Like, the midfield might be weaker than the defending. It's not as deep. It's not deep.
Well, that's a big loss with the injury of Kone, right?
Kone, it's massive.
That's
everything went perfect in that Qatar game.
Until then.
So sad. But they're going to have to persevere. I think they can beat South Africa, and I think the rest is gravy after that. If they can get out of the round of 32, it's already the best FIFA World Cup that Canada's ever had. Hopefully they get past South Africa, and they can move on to the round of 16, and then whatever happens from there. Man, if they ever made a quarterfinal, my God, Tom, it would be insanity. Insanity. Well, with that, we'll move it right on here to our interview. Usually this is now the time where we talk OHL and the Sudbury Wolves, and we actually got to chat with David Bowen, play-by-play announcer of the Sudbury Wolves, and we broke down the entire OHL draft and especially the Wolves picks, and we did address the Tanner Adams rumors as well in that interview. So we'll send it off to him right now. All right, folks, the OHL draft has just surpassed us, and it's the first time in a long time that the draft was in town. And we're joined by a special guest here today who was boots on the ground. He's going to give us an inside look into the Sudbury Wolves picks, as well as all of the craziness that's happened post-draft as well. He is the play-by-play voice of the Sudbury Wolves. Let's hear it for David Bowen. How we doing, brother?
Good, Jim. Yeah, good to see you guys. Crazy experience being boots on the ground for the first time in, I think, just about 2 decades. The OHL draft was in person. Wicked experience for me and really everyone that was in attendance.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what was the vibe there, Dave? Like, did it feel like, like an NHL draft like type setup? Like, take us through it.
Yeah, I would say Kingston did an incredible job in the Slush Puppy Place. I think the best name of one of the arenas in the OHL, the Slush Puppy Place, was a great venue for it. And obviously a little bit smaller scale than the NHL draft. I've never been to one of those. I was never fortunate enough as a player to even sniff going to one of those, or not quite professionally either. But it was cool to have each OHL team and everyone that works for each of these teams, all the GMs, all the scouts, all in one place. So it was a great place to meet everyone around the league and kind of get a feel for how each organization does operate in terms of how they were covering the draft, how they go about picking different players. It was cool to have that experience in person.
Yeah, no doubt. And let's go through it. I mean, we could kick it off. Let's go with an overall assessment first, and then we'll kind of maybe go a few pick by pick selections here. But let's go your overall assessment of the Wolves 2026 draft class. Do you think the Wolves addressed some needs that have to be taken care of?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I had to give them a letter grade, I'd give them a solid A. I don't think you can give them an A plus because eventually you got to see these guys on the ice and actually producing. But um, when you look at their draft, they had what? I think 9 picks within the first 5 rounds. And when you look historically at guys that make an impact in the Ontario Hockey League, they're usually picked, within those first 5 rounds. So when you can get 9 players in those first 5 rounds, Rob Papineau and the rest of the Wolves scouting staff had to be pretty excited about having that opportunity. And when you look at some of the kids that they selected, especially on defense, I think that was the one area that the Wolves needed to address, and they picked a few guys that are pretty big kids. When I was talking to the head scout of the Wolves, that was kind of their priority on defense, was to pick kids that were, when you look at some of their picks, Belikov, he's 6'4", 210. He's only 16 years old. I don't know what his parents are feeding him over there, but pretty good stuff. And same with Hindenberger. He's 6'3", 200. They pick some big defensemen that can skate. And when you look around really all of pro hockey right now, that's everyone's trying to find, a big D man that can move the puck and skate. So I think they addressed that. And then obviously Cash Quadra in the first round, he was an exceptional talent this season. And I wasn't at development camp, but I heard he was looking mighty dangerous at dev camp. So
Okay.
you gotta think that Rob Papineau and the rest of the scouting staff are pretty pumped with how the draft went.
Okay. I wanted to ask about Cash. I mean, that's the first guy the Wolves obviously picked this year.
Yeah.
Like, what made him such an attractive player? Like, I saw him a few times this year just from kind of being involved with the U16 group. Obviously, it's the high end skill. Is that probably what you guys in the Wolves saw on that front as well?
Yeah, when I got to talk to Rob after the draft, I asked him specifically about Cash and Ivan, and he kind of said that Cash was the kind of the go-to guy for his team, the Toronto Junior Canadians, that made it to the final, and Belikov was the go-to defenseman for his team. So he felt pretty good that he had the best player from each team that made a run to the final in the OHL Cup. So that's obviously a good position to be in. And Cash, yeah, like just a dynamic forward from everything that I've seen and what I heard from development camp. You can just tell that he sees the game and reads the game a bit better than the average kid his age. And as he fills out, obviously 16 years old. He's still got plenty of room to grow. I think they have him at 5'11", 166. He's got room to fill out and get a little bigger, a little stronger. But I think he's going to be a very talented OHLer for sure.
Yeah, and maybe diving a little deeper into that pick, where do you see him fit in the Wolves line? I'm assuming obviously he's going to be playing right away with the Wolvers here. How big of an impact do you think Cash could have in his rookie year?
Yeah, I think for a team like the Wolves, it's tough when you go back and look. Obviously, Braden Bennett last year, and then you go back even farther. You're thinking about Nathan Villeneuve and Kieran Walton, and I remember riding the bus with Wally and Billy in their first years. And when you're the go-to guy of your minor midget AAA team, and then you get into the OHL, and the OHL historically has been, an 18, 19, 20-year-old dominated league. It's pretty tough to come in at 16, and not very many 16-year-olds walk in and play on the first line and they're on the top power play. So I think for Cash, if he can find a role somewhere on the third or fourth line, and hey, if you play well enough and Scott Barney's going to reward you if you're earning it. So I think that's ultimately where he starts, and then from there, it's up to him to prove that he deserves to play higher up in the lineup. But um, Kieran Walton was a 100-point OHL player almost the last 2 seasons, and his first year in the OHL, he was playing behind some pretty good teammates when you think of Musty and others who are on that team. So it's tough to make a huge impact as a 16-year-old in the OHL. It's just such a huge jump from minor midget to the O.
It's a good
Definitely.
point.
And Were the Wolves, and I'm not sure how close you were to this, Dave, but was Cash their guy from all along? Like, I'm thinking back to now Draft Day, the movie, where it was Cash or nobody else. When he pulled out the
Yeah.
sticky note. What was it, Cash or bust?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone went to his birthday party, and all the reports were good. So it seemed like obviously I didn't I didn't want to bother anyone too much, and ask Rob or Jeff, hey, like, is this for sure what's happening? I'm going to let them do their job, but I'd say going into the first round, we had a pretty good inkling of what the picks were going to be. And obviously Twitter is just a crazy space where you see all these different projections and you're not sure if you should believe it or not, but a few of them got it right, and it seemed like the order, that at least the top five, was kind of already set out. So I know I was working on graphics and stuff for the Wolves, and Cash, we had one made for him well in advance. So those top five picks kind of played out exactly how everyone thought they would. Is that me? Internet connection?
Tell me, boy.
Yeah, next one I got for you, Dave. Obviously, to continue on with. No, it's all good. It's all good. To as long as you can hear us, to continue on with the Twitter, Dave. Gotta ask you. I mean, one that blew up, kind of right after the draft. Basically not right after the draft, during the draft, was Northern Boy going third overall with Brampton and Tanner Adams, and then obviously not going on the podium. Now there's stories out that he's not going to accept a trade anywhere but the Wolves. I mean, very rare that you see this kind of happen. I mean, it's kind of common in other places, but not really from a kid from the north. Not at all, really.
Right.
And he spent the last 2 years, obviously, with the Hill Academy. I was saying to Chim many times that this guy was going to go first. Maybe some teams got wind of it that he wasn't going to go there regardless, so that's why he fell to third. Like, the Wolves very likely now have a good chance to have 2 first-rounders. So what's kind of your whole story hearing that kind of blow up when you were there on the floor?
Yeah, so I think probably like you guys kind of just saw the rumblings on Twitter kind of the days before leading up to the draft, and you're not sure what to believe or if it's accurate or not, but it seemed like a lot of people were catching word of it, especially the day of the draft. And yeah, that was kind of awkward when they announced his name and he wasn't even there, and they kind of pan over on the broadcast and he's nowhere to be found. But I mean, what a great opportunity for the Wolves. I think when I go back, even back to when I got drafted, David Levin went first overall to the Wolves the year before, I believe. And this is kind of a thing that's happened in the OHL in the past where players really do have kind of a huge say, and they tell you they're not coming to your team, then it's tough to pick them. But I think Brampton fully knew what they were doing, because they're gonna get compensated if he doesn't end up going. But Tanner Adams, like you said, Tommy, like he from what I heard, was consensus like number one pick for sure. So if the Wolves are able to get him, that'd be a huge boost to the lineup. You're not very often you can get 2 top 5 picks on your team in the same season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming months.
Yeah, and I guess to follow up on that, how realistic is it for the Wolves to get a deal like this done? Like, it feels like there's a lot of pieces that have to get moved here. But
It's gonna happen. We'll make it happen.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if we
I
gotta
texted him. I just called
If we gotta
Tanner.
go pick him up, we'll do it.
I just called. Yeah, just got him. Yeah.
But yeah, how realistic you think, Dave?
Jim, that's a great question. I mean, that's one for Robbie Papineau to answer. I'm not sure how realistic it is. I mean, if the kid only wants to play in one spot, then you got to think that Rob's sitting in a bit of a position of strength going into this negotiation with Brampton. But also Brampton's not just going to hand him over for a bag of pucks and some Gatorades. Like, they're going to need to get something coming back the other way. So I think that'll be kind of the give and take between Brampton and Sudbury. But at some point, someone's got to budge. So we'll see. But the Wolves are certainly in a good spot if this is his desired place to play. So cross our fingers that it can happen sooner rather than later. But I wouldn't hold our breath on it. It could be as close to maybe a week before the season. I mean, it's a pretty good spot for the Wolves to be in, and Tanner's got his heart on being a Sudbury Wolf, and I think be a fan favorite pretty much instantly with making a claim like that, because usually, it's in the past it's gone the other way on the Wolves, where
Yes.
some of the Southern boys are like,
100%.
you know what, I don't want to come up and play in that old barn in Sudbury. So this is pretty cool that it's working in the Wolves' favor for a change.
I can't remember the last time this has happened. I don't think in my lifetime, Tom. I don't recall.
It's
I
like
don't
the
recall.
same. It's like the same with the Wolves and the Leafs. People say no one wants to play for the Leafs. They go sign there. I mean,
Here we
it's
go.
it's the same here.
Here
But
we go.
Bones,
Here we
I
go.
have to ask you, like, the team. I mean, to me, like last year, over what's the word I'm looking for?
Overachieved?
Overachieved. Thank you for making the playoffs this year. If they get 2 first-round picks, 2 top 5 picks, if the deal actually does get done, I mean, playoffs for sure for this team, right? Like, I can't see why not, because the
Oh,
same top guys are going to be there.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at the team, um, Jan Hovan and Artem Gonchar are reportedly for sure coming back, and that's obviously huge for the Wolves. So that's 2 of your import guys, and one of your overage spots already gone, and JC and obviously Rowan Henderson and Finn Kearns is another guy that Wolves fans, some of them maybe know because he's played a few games, but he's done high school now, and he's going to be a full-time Sudbury Wolf next season. And talk about being a fan favorite, I think Finn Kearns is going to get there relatively quickly, because he plays a hard-nosed game that I think the northern community in Sudbury is going to love. And obviously with the coaching staff, you got the same 3 guys coming back, and kind of that consistency doesn't hurt. So I think playoffs for sure. And the Wolves have done some good business other than the draft too. They made a trade with Brantford. They traded away some of their import picks and got some of Brantford's U16 picks. So there's enough picks in the cupboard where if the Wolves get off to a pretty good start, Rob might be inclined to add even more to this team that already looks pretty darn good. So playoffs for sure is definitely the goal. And you know what? How about a home round one? I think that the shoot for the stars, right? Have high expectations and try and meet them. That's where you want to be. And last year, I agree, Tommy, to get to the playoffs, and yeah, they get swept by Brantford, but they played 3 1-goal games with them in
Yeah.
that series against a team that a lot of people thought was one of the best junior teams that's been assembled here in the last couple of years. So I think that experience for guys like JC and Rowan, and obviously Artem Gonchar's first year in the OHL, and Hovan was great down the stretch too. I think they're going to feel pretty confident about the squad they have next year.
100%. If there's not a lot of turnover between their top guys, like you mentioned, Dave, and it sounds obviously promising
Nemec as
to hear
well.
that.
Nemec as well.
Yeah,
Nemec as
hopefully.
well.
Yeah, I mean, like the sky's definitely the limit, and as you mentioned too, you make a couple moves here down the line a little bit later, maybe near deadline time. Who knows what could happen with the Wolfers? And kind of nice too. And as a goalie, we're kind of going off a tangent here, but I'm just thinking as yourself as a goalie here, Dave, it's kind of nice to feel kind of comfortable in the goaltending position with the Wolves. Obviously, with Bronis coming back, not sure about Frasca if he'll be back, but obviously. Their young gun as well, and Leonard should be getting in the fold as well. I guess it's kind of nice to have that. Your thoughts on the goaltending situation?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have to go too far back, you look at last season, they tried 4 different goalies in the first 4 games of the season, and I think Scott Barney would tell you it's going to be nice going into next year, kind of, having a guy that he's done it, he's proven that he can be an OHL goaltender, and can give him a bit of a leash to start the season. I'm biased, Jim. You know that the goalie's the most important position on the ice. He's out there for the full 60 minutes, and if he's good, you win. If he's not good, you're probably not going to win. So Bjorn he's a great kid, and he was an outstanding goalie. And Frask too, the Italian stallion. I
That's
loved
right.
his game for a smaller guy. He moved so well, but. You get 3 overage spots and you got to use them wisely. So he's kind of in that battle with a few other names too. It's a hard spot for really the Wolves, every team in the OHL and general managers to narrow it down to those 3 overagers. So we'll see what happens there, but especially with Bjorn and obviously Lenny. Lenny's a great kid, and hopefully he gets another chance to prove what he can do, because he was excellent last year for a 16-year-old in the OHL that you don't really see a lot of
Absolutely.
them play very much at all. So he proved that he can hang with the OHLers as well.
Yeah, definitely going to be nice to see him make a step as well. And I mean, Wolves draft another goalie as well in the 3rd round, in Luke Lawson, who's 6'3".
Yeah.
A big fella as well. So I don't know if you got a chance to see Luke or meet him, but yeah, maybe your thoughts on him.
Yeah, so at the draft, they walked up on stage, and then I was kind of tucked behind the stage, working on graphics and stuff, and then they would walk back there, and then eventually take some photos, and then OHL media got to them, and then eventually we were able to sit and chat with them. But yeah, I remember him just walking back there and just towered over me. He had to be at least 6'4" by now, so that's obviously a good start for a goaltender. You love a tall goalie, and they were all such great kids, and he's going to show up to camp, and he's going to show what he can do. That's the great thing about the OHL, is that there's so much competition. So there's no time to kind of, Owen Leonard's now, you've got even more competition to prove that, to try and win that battle in the crease. And that's what makes the OHL such a tough league to play in, because there's so much competition, especially in net. There's only 2 spots, and Bjorn's a returning guy. So that second position for the Wolves, there's going to be 3, 4, 5 guys that think they have a decent chance of securing that spot. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned obviously the late rounders getting in the mix too. Is there any steals or any diamonds in the rough that you like that the Wolves took late here in this draft?
Yeah, there's I'd have to pull it up on my phone, but this Dvorak kid that was picked late, I think it was maybe 9th round. I don't quote me on
Yeah,
that.
you
But
got
a
it,
little,
9th rounder. Yeah,
okay, yeah. So
well done.
oh, yeah, that was a
That
good
was
pull
good,
there.
man. Nice.
That was a great pull there. Yeah, he looks like a promising player. And again, one of those just big, tall, can skate defensemen, and the more of those that you have, the better chance that a few of them pan out to being good OHLers. So I think he would be my one to watch for kind of that late round steal. And even some kids, obviously Donovan McCoy's brother was picked late there, Bryson McCoy, and you never know at 16 years old, whatever level they played at, there's so much room to grow. And Donovan was a heck of an OHL player, and if Bryson's going to have him as a mentor, that's a pretty good place to start. So I wouldn't rule anyone out based off of wherever they played last year, whatever their stats were, because there's so much room to grow. They're 16 years old. Do you remember what you were doing at 16, Chim? I don't even remember what I had for lunch 2 days ago. Like,
Yeah, well, I definitely wasn't getting ready to play in the OHL, so that's what I could guarantee.
Hey, you want a chip in
Maybe
the
Tom
double A?
though, eh? Tom?
You want? No, I was more my player comparison. If I had to give Bonesy one, Bonesy knows
Here
my
we go.
game. On Chim, you would love this.
Sure.
I always tell you this. If I was an OHL player today, my player comparison would be Blake Clayton. Done.
I like
Done.
that. Just
Can't-
hard-nosed guy.
Maybe a
two-way
Walmart
guy.
version of that. I don't
We
know.
all 100%. The finish is not there. You know what I mean? We're hoping
PK?
he can
The
get.
skating
be that-
isn't there.
Yeah. Okay. PK and face off. That's all I was going off.
There you go. There you
The
go.
skating, he's got me. The scoring touch. I mean, he struggled a little bit to
Wow.
find the net, but maybe
Yeah.
this year he's
Maybe
gonna
you
take a
got
big
him
step.
there. Maybe you got him there. Yeah.
Maybe I got him there. This year, I
Yeah.
expect big things from him and that line, because that's so cool. How, oh well, mostly that whole line's gonna come back.
Yeah,
Well, actually, all of them with Diener
yeah,
too, right?
yeah,
So,
for sure. It was funny going into Wolves games last season, and you didn't even have to look as to who the Wolves starters were going to be. Maybe the goalie, yeah, to double check, but it was Gaunch and Yules, and it was Diener, Clates, and Hendo every game. It didn't matter. And why not? It's just so easy to throw those three guys out. You're going to play your top line? Great. That'll be our shutdown line. You're going to play your third line? Great. We'll match up against that, and maybe we can get one. Like,
It's true.
it's so cool that those guys have kind of been a trio for so long. Rare to see.
Yes.
If you really take a deep look at the Wolves roster, especially up front, you have two lines solidified, and you're still looking at guys like Chitteroni, as well, like who's going to obviously fit well in the lineup, and it'll be a great. The Wolves look quite deep, obviously, in terms of three lines at least. I know, and then it gets a little slim pickings in terms of it's going to be tough for guys to crack the roster. I think of a guy like Mason Walker, who I think should be right in the mix there as well. What do you think of maybe those depth pieces, Dave, heading into this year?
Yeah, you kind of said it there, Chim. There's not a lot of openings, so it is going to be tough. And Scott Barney and the coaching staff are going to have they're going to have some tough decisions to make. But ultimately, that's a good thing for your team, is to have 3, 4, 5 guys that are deserving of an OHL roster spot, but you only have 2, 3 roster spots available. So, been there before. It's a tough place to live in. You mentioned Hudson Chironi. That's one kid that I think we're all kind of pulling for to stay healthy next season, because he would have been last season would have been such a good development year for him, especially with kind of trading away Wally and Billy and the opportunities that were there. But even Mason Walker's a great story. I actually saw him working out with Killer at NHA today, so I could tell he's getting in the best shape of his life, and he's going to put his best foot forward. But ultimately, it'll come down to main camp and exhibition, and then from there, we'll see who's there on opening night. But as we saw from last year, who's there on opening night doesn't really mean they're going to be there, come game one of the playoffs. So I think a lot of those guys, Mason Walker, obviously the kids that were picked this year, they'll get their chance and ultimately have a opportunity to kind of make their mark and solidify a spot.
Definitely. Tom, yeah, you got a question.
I do have one. I wanted to ask more about the D core now, like looking forward to next year. I think personally, losing Yulesy is a tough one, right? Obviously, a graduating player, but a guy that played
A lot of minutes, high and
tons of
hard.
minutes. But he played, he was crucial on the penalty kill, and special teams is a huge part of not just OHL, like really any level hockey. Like, where do you see this D-core going with now? Like, obviously, it is going to be Gonchar running it, and it's going to be, his power play. But I expect a guy like, man, I think Blonda should take that next step, and he can be the next guy, right?
Yeah.
Where do you kind of see that D-core going next year?
Yeah, when you start to think about it, and I've played this game a few times with
Oh,
some
you
of
want to play
my
Be a GM?
yeah, I love being
Oh,
GM.
me
It's
and
the
Chim
best.
did it the other day. It's fun.
Yeah, you think Gaunch obviously will be there. Blonda obviously will be there.
Yeah.
Finn Kearns is going to come and play a full season. Um, trying to think of this Belikov kid that just signed today. You got to think he's going to get an opportunity as well. And then from there's only 2 more spots. And we talked about the overage thing. Trevor Odell is another guy who's going into his 20-year-old season, and Odie's been nothing but a great stay-at-home D-man who's not
Yep.
afraid to block shots either. So maybe he gets in there. Liam Lads was a guy that the Wolves had last season and ran into some shoulder problems. So hopefully, for his case, his shoulder is feeling better and he can come to camp and show what he has. So, there's 6 OHL defensemen, well, 5 other than Belikov that played last year. So, but talking about Blonda, he's got such an incredible opportunity going into next year, being a late birthday, going into his NHL draft. This is his 3rd year in the O, and now he's getting into his NHL draft year. So that's a nice little advantage to have. And I thought last year, when you look at Blonda, you're thinking of a guy, who maybe can be your PP1 guy and be, half a point per game. But last year he impressed me so much because, Drake Berehowski took him under his wing and said, how about you try penalty killing? And all of a sudden, Luca Blonda was out there on the PK blocking one-timers. And you're like, whoa, this was not something I envisioned in Luca Blonda's game. And that certainly impressed me. And you got to find a way to contribute in some way, right? And if you've got a guy like Gonchar who's going to be the top power play guy, then why not make yourself useful on the penalty kill? And he did last season. So I expect him to take another jump and just be more comfortable. You're now into your third year of the OHL. You're going to be playing against guys that are 2 years younger than you. I think Bonds is in for a good season ahead of him for sure.
You just named like so many guys. There's Martin as well. There's Smitty as well.
Martin,
Like it's
Martin,
yeah.
So they're like just same thing, same conversation we just had up front. There's going to be there's going to be some upset kids that have OHL experience, and it sucks for them, and been there, but as an organization, Rob and Scott have to be pretty happy that we're deep and we have a lot of guys that deserve OHL roster spots, and they're going to get to choose the best ones in their eyes to fill those spots.
It's either Bonesy if they go young or kind of go with more experience to make a run, right? Like if you talked about the 2 top 5 guys, if Adams comes, like do they maybe not play as much and other guys that have OHL experience play up front? And if you're looking at the back end, like Hudson Martin and Smitty played a lot of games last year, but if you want Balakov to get some experience, right? Like it's good decisions to have, I guess, when you're debating on who to get in.
Right.
But I feel like the Wolves are progressing, in the right way here.
Yeah, I think they've done an excellent job. And last season, as much as it would have been nice to see another full season of Villy and Wally, I think looking back at it now as a Wolves fan and looking at what next season is going to look like with the additions of JC and obviously getting Nemitz over, it was the right thing to do. Last year wasn't the year for the Wolves. And now with the new rule changes, the fact that you're going to have a 20-year-old NHL draft pick, Artem Gonchar, still playing in the O, like look around the rest of the Ontario Hockey League. Those guys don't exist anymore.
You're absolutely right.
Jan Hovland's a guy. He was drafted in the NHL. He's going to be 2 years past his NHL draft, and he's still playing in the Ontario Hockey League. He's not playing D1.
Culture, man.
Culture. Yeah. Hey, Scott Barney is doing a fantastic job of making Sudbury a desired place to play. So the Wolves are in a great spot alone with just having those 2 guys that if you look around the rest of the league, these kids they're playing for Penn State. They're playing for North Dakota. So it's crazy, the OHL landscape, how it's changed. It used to be kind of every 3 years you reload, and now it's like every 2 years you kind of have to be ready to make a run. So I think the Wolves are looking good for next season.
That's a good point.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned JC, who's going to have a year, obviously. Bonesy, how was it? I believe you were in on filming the schedule release.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys. Hilarious. Awesome job. But take us through the filming process there.
And also, what a trade that was to get this guy. This is
unreal trade.
Home run so far. Villy, we love you, and Farzy. But
it was a great trade.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, first couple of games, it seemed like he was going to score every time he stepped on the ice for the Wolves, which was just incredible. It eventually died off, but JC, he's such a good kid, Jim. I know me and Nathan, we kind of reached out to him, and we knew he was going to be at the draft, and we were in a bit of a time crunch for trying to get this schedule release video out. We came up with this idea, and we just kind of told JC, like, hey, like when you come down, we need you. Would you do the schedule release video with us, and could you just bring your gear with you? And we didn't really give him all the details about all the funny props and childish kind of things that we were doing to shoot this video, but man, was he was so easy to work with and just enjoyed it. And he's built for TV, built for the camera, much more than I am. So it was good that I was behind the camera and he was the one on it. And I think when one of your best players is that good of a person, and you're in a pretty good spot as a team. And he knew that some of the stuff in the schedule release, he's like, Clates is going to chirp me about this, or Hendo's going to chirp me about this, but it didn't bother him, right? And it's good to see that he's so comfortable with guys on the team that, like, you know what, whatever. I'll have a bunch of these Cheerios here if the sarnia is staying. Whatever, it's all good. So, yeah, he was awesome to work with, and uh, shout out to everyone that worked on that video, and Nathan especially. It came out as good as I think we could get it. So it was cool.
Yeah.
Unreal. No, yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Awesome job. Tom?
Yeah, I got one more before we go to our dynamic five and wrap up here, Bonesy. But been kind of thinking about the last couple of years, and I mean, I have my answer, and I wanted to ask you, like, do you think the OHL draft is just too long in terms of how many rounds there is? Like, do you not think they can lower this down now with, the whole rule with the NCAA now coming into effect? Like, do you just think I think it's like 5 rounds too long, right? Like maybe even 7, 8 rounds too long, and you can see it really shorten up. But I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm happy it was 15 rounds back when I got drafted, because it took me all the way until the 13th round. But yeah, it's pretty good point. I mean, it is tough in those last few rounds. Not a lot of those kids end up making a real impact, and I kind of think that maybe the U16 one is a couple rounds too long, and the U18 one could probably use a couple more rounds. I'm not too sure. Like, it's only what, the U18 is only 3 rounds, so
Two
or
now,
2
Bonesy.
rounds,
2
right?
now. Yeah.
So maybe give 2 more rounds to the U18s and take 2 rounds away from U16s. I wouldn't throw a huge fit about that, but
Hey, I'm with. At the same time, how many times have you said today, like on this interview, like these kids are 16, it takes them a couple of years maybe, right?
right. Well, I mean, you think of the U18s the Wolves have had in recent years. I know when I was playing, Emmett Sorensis was one, Mitchell Weeks was another, and then now you got Rowan Henderson, and this guy's on NHL Central. So that's a 16th round U16 pick. I know the guys like to chirp Hendo about that a little bit, but that chirping has dialed down since his name's been mentioned for the NHL draft. But yeah, I'd be all right with 2 more rounds for U18 and maybe 2 less rounds for U16. But I mean, there's smarter people than me and you, Tommy, that I guess have this all figured out. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. It's probably going to stay at 15 rounds probably for another 10 years.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Although I could see the U18 maybe getting another round. I could see that happening in the future.
And it better be like 30 rounds when me and you start having kids so my kid can go.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Perfect. Jim, you got anything else? Or
No, let's go to our dynamic 5 here, Bonesy, before we let you go. You know the drill here. It's 5 rapid fire questions. Whatever comes to the top of your head, let it rip, and I will send it off to Tommy.
All right. I know we talked to a lot of different players for the Wolves, obviously, but who is going to be the Wolves MVP this coming season? Who do you think?
Ooh. Give me JC Lemieux.
Yep. Do the Leafs make the playoffs this year?
Oh, without a question. No.
Love it. I love it. What's your go-to karaoke tune?
Ooh. Give me Sweet Caroline. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. Are you a breakfast, lunch, or dinner type of guy?
Probably dinner. Give me
Dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me dinner.
I mean, last one, but it's a follow-up because you're a dinner guy. What's your favorite Sudbury restaurant?
Oh, I'd have to go to Gusto. Yeah, that one has won my heart over the past couple of years, and I'd go there every week if I could. I would. Yeah.
There you go. Great spot. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Bonesy, listen, thanks a lot for coming in and chatting Wolves hockey here with the boys. We were excited to get through this and chat because it is one of our favorite topics, the Wolfers. You know us here, so we really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time here.
Thanks for having me, boys. Maybe we can get one more good run at the old barn. We've only got so much time with it, so hopefully next year is the year.
Yeah, let's hope. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the interview with David Bowen. Tom, we recapped it with Dave. I think it was one of the better drafts the Wolves have had in a long time. We talked about it. They addressed a lot of their needs, and I love that they went for size. That's kind of my Cole's notes on what I have recapping with Dave. But I thought Dave gave some great insights into maybe the minds of Rob Papineau.
Yep.
And and the rest of the scouting staff. So yeah, maybe your thoughts on the interview.
I mean, thanks for Jay for coming on and taking the time. I mean, where would the Wolves be without this guy? I felt like we could have talked to him forever, to be honest. It felt like that.
Hundo.
And I said a couple pods ago, I got a text. You're in that chat. I'd like to take full ownership of continuing my co-host abilities. Tanner Adams did not go first overall. I was wrong with that. Do I believe in a couple years he will be the best player from this draft? Yes. So I'm still going to take full responsibility that I was wrong.
I was wrong on. Don't worry, Tom. I was wrong on Prudhomme. I was convinced that the Wolves were going to take him there, but they didn't. And obviously, Cash Kaweja has looked great at camp, and can't wait to see the Wolves lock him up. And if they can somehow get Tanner Adams, I don't know the timeline on that. It seems like he's not going to play anywhere else. I'm not sure if there's a timeline where they can trade a first rounder, Tom. I know you can't. I don't know how it works. Because you can't trade first rounders in the O, right?
No, you can't. And I believe since, well, he is a first rounder, I think you only
But if
have
he
to
doesn't report, you get compensated, correct?
Yeah, with picks. So it's kind of a loophole, and we'll have to see how it plays out, to be honest.
I don't know the logistics of how you can make that trade.
I don't think it's an actual roster player if he doesn't report. Like, you can't give up certain guys that the Wolves already have. So
No, I don't think. Yeah, but if you can't trade a first rounder, how does that work? Or is it an extenuating circumstance? There's got to be some policy that allows for it to happen.
yeah, because you got to get the kid to play at the end of the day, right? You got to do what's best for the player. But
and for the league is better with this kid in the league. So they're going to do whatever they can to get him to play. Right, Tom? Are you with me there?
100%. Even though, like, it doesn't look great on the league at that the player doesn't want to commit to a certain team, but at the end of the day, he still wants to stay and play in the OHL. It's just for another team. So, and selfishly, I'd love to see it. I love this kid. Good Northern boy playing for the Wolves. Another one. Like, I say another one as in, like, Chitteroni's there, right? Like, if
It's a
Walker
matter
makes
of
a
when.
team,
Blonda.
it's Blonda. It's super
It's
cool.
a matter of when. I think they're going to get him. I don't see how they don't. He said he's not going anywhere else. So,
Yeah. And if we do get him, we'll interview him. How about that?
100%. We're going to make a lot of moves there for sure. We'll be making our own moves for sure.
Yeah.
Some other big news, Tom. We were talking about the World Cup earlier and all the soccer buzz. We're getting another turf field, baby. I posted about it last week. We are getting another turf field. Collage Boréal coming out and teaming up with the French Public Board to build a $4 million turf facility at McDonald Cartier. A great field, a great location. It's exactly what we needed, and kudos to Dan Giroux and all the leadership at Collage, all the leadership at MacJack, as well as the French Public Board there to get a turf facility there. It's exactly what we needed, and this is just the start of a movement, and hopefully the World Cup may have a little bit to do with this too as well, Tom, with the momentum. But this should hopefully start a movement across Sudbury to start building some more turf facilities.
Yes.
So excited. Tom, your thoughts?
I mean, great video. And like you said, thanks to everyone that was involved. We are looking to interview some of the key pieces of that whole project. But I think where I stand on it is, like, what perfect timing to have this article and all this news break. Like you said, when the World Cup is pumping, when Canada's doing well, and that comes in. It was like, it's like when you're trick-or-treating and you knock on a door and you get the big chocolate bars. It's like you're already excited because you're getting candy, and then you get the big candy. Like, this is going to be great. And like you said, it's only going to be the stepping stone, we hope. And hopefully this is a huge success, which means if it does go well, which we both know we think it will, there's only going to be more that happens after that. So let's just see how it all folds out. And I believe, Chim, it's coming soon, no? Like, it's September?
This fall.
Wow.
It'll be
Wow.
coming.
Yeah.
And there's some big, like, some other things to add on to this, Tom. In this announcement, Collège Boréal will have both a women's and a men's team in the OCAA. First time ever. That's amazing. Like, that's huge. There's a lot of talented kids that go to Collège. Like, they didn't have a team to play in, so they would play, league to play in. They'd play in our co-ed adult league, Tom. They were killing teams, like, left and right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they'll be competitive for sure at OCAA. I'm interested to see how that goes, and they're going to be set to go this September with the field ready, 1,000-seat stadium, fit for FIFA standards. So very excited. And with that, MacJack also announced that their own soccer program as well. So I mean, watch out! Like, this could be something quite legit here, Tom. So very interested to see what happens. It is exactly what we needed, and I can't thank them enough for seeing the vision and making it happen. We need more turf fields. This is only one step in the right direction, but we finally got two. Maybe it should alleviate some pressure on high school soccer and GSSC and Cyclones and this, that, and the other thing. Hopefully it can just momentum, but it starts here, and I can't thank them enough. I also want to address some comments. I think people are getting a little confused. I think people believe that the city is paying for this. Nowhere in the article does it say that the city is chipping in on this. This is completely funded by Collège Boréal and the French Public Board. So nowhere are the dollars coming from the city. So I just wanted to clear that confusion, because a lot of people are saying, oh, we got to work on the roads and this, that, and the other thing. Yes, I agree 1,000% with you. This project has nothing to do with it. This project's not taking any money away from that. So this is what I'm saying, Tom, by people who have their private spots, their private land to build, let them do it on their own dollar. Why not? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to see that this is happening here. It's great to see that vision. And I only think, Tom, and from what I'm hearing, rumblings around the soccer community here, this is only the beginning of turf facilities being built here. So great to see. Congrats to everyone on that huge success. Opening September, Tom. It's coming. Like, it's coming right away.
It's literally right
It's going to be
around the
awesome.
corner.
It's going to be amazing. I'm interested to see if it'll have football lines on it. I don't know if it's strictly for soccer or not. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. Eyes peeled on that. But it looks like it's dedicated to soccer. Okay, one more thing, Tom, before we could wrap it up here. Some big news coming out of Laurentian. And it's all soccer here, fitting with the FIFA World Cup. Randy Ribeiro, the now former head coach of the women's soccer program at Laurentian, stepped down. I believe it was yesterday. So, a lot of moving pieces here, Tom. I am not sure what's going to happen. Like, the season is not too far away. Like, training camp usually starts in August. LU's going to have to scramble to find a new coach. Who's it going to be? I'm not too sure. It's just unfortunate, Tom. And I'm going to be careful with what I say, but we just lost Evan Phillips to Nipissing, guy that lives here in Sudbury, works for the Cyclones. There could have been maybe an opportunity for him to coach both teams, right? Take over the whole program, men's and women's, right? There could have been that opportunity. Now, obviously, we can't predict the future, and Ribeiro leaving obviously comes as a shock and as a surprise. But especially when we have local people here in Sudbury that are committed to soccer, that want to grow the game, that are involved in either the grassroots level or at the high, top, competitive, semi-pro level, I don't know why we don't utilize those people more, man. Like, and the men's team went with an outside hire. You know, they obviously Tony Tagg's out there, another local guy. They bring in an outside hire. You'd like to think they're going to stick around for a bit, But Tom, I feel like a lot of these outside hires use Laurentian as a stepping stone, get their feet wet in the OUA, and then go on to a bigger and call a spade, a better program. Like the women's team has not had a lot of success since Rob Gallo has left, and the men's team's always been competitive, but especially the on the women's side, it's kind of dropped off since Gallo left. So I think it's just important that we got to utilize the
You got to
local
keep them in house, man. I'm listening. I'm taking it all in. I'm listening. Yeah. I just.
What do you think?
I think the only way to get the program, I'm not gonna say back on the map because, like you said, they've been competitive, is giving a guy like you said here that's put the time here in the community a chance. And you know more than me if they've like ever wanted to, get involved in Laurentian. I'm talking about those Cyclones guys. I'm not gonna say any names, but it's like those are the type of guys that will stay for the future, right? And have a family here and stuff. And probably
they're
likely
committed to Sudbury. They're living here. They're growing a family here. Like
exactly. So
that's why it feels like temporary when you go with an outside hire. It feels temporary.
So the outside hire piece is okay. So when you're hiring for this role, do you think the outside hires have more of a better resume than the people here in house? Like, okay, sure. Let's just call it slightly. I'm not even sure. I'm just talking out loud. You're already at a disadvantage because they're not from here, and they're probably likely going to leave, like you just mentioned, for a better program. So when you're neck and neck choosing a candidate, like how do you not go with the one here, right? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm just talking out loud here.
And absolutely, and maybe we're gonna come at it with a little bit of bias. Obviously, we just had Evan Phillips on. We've had people from the soccer community in Sudbury here, and yeah, sure, I am gonna be biased, and I think I'm right because at the end of the day, if they have roots here in Sudbury, they've been involved with the program. How do you not want them to take it over long term? It's too good of a fit, in my opinion. So, especially with these guys that make it temporary, like obviously, I'm not too sure if Ribeiro has another spot. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm just reading Randy Pascal's article here. It doesn't look like there's a destination for Randy right now. Ribeiro, that is. So, not sure what's going on. Obviously deciding to move on. But again, like I mentioned before, these outside hires, it may look like a great resume and a dazzling resume, but there needs to be, for me, proof that there's a commitment that you're going to be here in Sudbury long term, right? You're going to be committed to Laurentian long term. And obviously that wasn't the case here. We'll see on the men's side. They've just made a new hire as well. I don't know, man. It's interesting. There was such a good opportunity to have a really good program with a really good person at the helm of it all, and it's not going to be. So, very interested to see who Laurentian goes out and gets for the women's program. I couldn't tell you. I got one person in mind. I won't mention their name right now, but he is maybe a friend of the show. We could say, and maybe not the person you're thinking of. We've never had him on the show yet, so I'll leave it at that. Tom, to move forward here, anything else that you'd like to talk about? Anything you got to get off your chest here?
Lots of NHL trade chatter.
It's insane.
Chatter. Wow, mumble mouth. The draft. Gavin McKennan's going to be a Leaf. And I know you'd like to hear this because you're a diehard Minnesota Wild fan, just like me, second favorite team. They are severely pursuing Vincent Trocheck. So let's see what happens in the next couple of days. He would be electric in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
It's and the NBA, Giannis got dealt. Like, I mean, it's just crazy with sports right now, and you gotta love it.
Yeah, you do. Okay, folks. Well, that's going to do it here for week 248 of Behind the Bench. Thank you to David Bowen for coming on and chatting with us, and thank you all for listening. As always, We have lots on the go, folks. We'll be updating you. We do have a bench roll. We have a couple bench rolls in the work. We just got to get the date down, and we'll be at it. But summer is here, folks. It is officially here, ready to roll. The BTB summer is on. Love y'all. We'll see you for 249. Ciao.